So, Craig, we watched something brand new today, and I'm
Yeah.
quite excited to talk about something really new and current and relevant, and it's out in the cinema. We are going to go full into spoilers on this one, so be warned if you haven't seen Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, QuANTuMAnia, you have not seen it, go watch it, then come listen to us.
If you really hate it already before you've even watched it and not going to watch it, listen to us anyway.
Yeah, please listen to us because we fucking hate this movie.
Well,
at least I do. I expect you do.
it wasn't great. I mean, to be honest, to watch this film, I had to go through the first two. So I plowed through them like one night after the other, and they were quite fun. I really enjoyed them. But this film felt like a really big change of direction, and I don't think I hated it as much as you probably hated it.
Spoiler alert from here on in, guys. Right, go on.
So they get shrunk down. Actually, I don't even remember what causes them to get shrunk down.
Something. Well, what it was. So I love the. I love the. So we start off with fucking. So here's Paul Rudd, just your average day of the mill superhero, not caring the world, loving life. He's written a book. He's written a book. It's a bit naff at the beginning, and then again, like his daughter, so she invents some fucking device that can like beam into the quantum realm so they can map the quantum realm out. And then when Michelle Pfeiffer hears this, she's like, no, turn it off. And like, I just feel so I really didn't like this film. My first big problem with it is the story just sort of, there's no real build up to it. It just sort of sucked into the realm. Like, no, you've barely introduced this device. Like, I feel like if you go by Honey, I Shrunk the Kids logic, like they spend time establishing characters. They spend time establishing the machine. We get to see the machine in action. We get to see the machine not quite working yet. So when it does finally work, that's way more interesting of a story than, I invented the thing in my bedroom, and then you turn it on, whoop, everyone's sucked in. Like, no, there's no build up to it. You may as well have just started it in the quantum realm. Like, you've just breezed past this introduction. Like, besides knowing that he's written a book, we really don't know where Scott Lang is. Besides, he's just enjoying being a superhero celebrity.
Can I also add here as well? Why is his daughter such a prick to him? Because after everything that he has done, like surely he could get some respect. Oh, what have you done apart from writing a book? I'd be pretty fucking pleased if I write a book like after doing all that fucking shit. Why is everyone being such a prick to him? Like he has done a lot of good stuff.
In all fairness, I suppose if you save the world numerous times, you have the right to write a book. But to be fair though, he does gloat about it. Like he quotes his own book. Like that's kind of naff. Like if you knew a guy like that, and then you just like roll off a quote, and you'd be like, "Oh, who said that?" And you'd be like, "I did in my book." Or you'd be like, "You're a fucking twat." Like, you wouldn't like that guy. I'm telling you wouldn't like that guy.
We could start doing that in our podcast as well. If you
start quoting our own podcast.
Yeah, to other people that don't know about it.
Yeah, I've already started. I'm that. I'm Scott Lang, and I didn't save the world. I haven't earned it yet. But yeah.
So anyway, they get sucked into the quantum realm by a machine that is explained in 2 seconds. And Michelle Pfeiffer's character is not very happy about it.
I'll tell you this. I feel like a young 17, 18, 19-year-old girl inventing something in her bedroom that's like more technologically advanced than anything we've seen come before. It's becoming a trope in these Marvel movies because Black Panther 2 does it as well. You got Riri Williams, and she's like invented some fuck off vibranium detector, and it's super advanced, but it's made out of like parts of microwaves and shit. So like she's some like mega genius, like building shit out of her bedroom, and so's Scott Lang's daughter, and it's just becoming like a bit of a trope.
It's a bit of
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, because like the first Marvel trope was blue sky beam, then the second one was someone getting their arm cut off. Maybe this is their next trope.
I think it's just lazy writing, in my opinion.
It could be same plot.
Yeah. And also, a thing that I wanted to mention about Michelle Pfeiffer's character, I forgot, what's her actual name? I should know it by now.
I think
Anyway,
she is. Isn't she Hope Van Dyne?
No, Hope is Evangeline Lilly's character.
Then she's something Van Dyne. Jane,
okay.
Janet.
Okay. All right, Janet. Maybe it's Janet.
Yeah, it's Janet, sure.
Okay. We already seen her like experimenting with it before, like this. It wasn't the ending of the previous Ant-Man movie, the one we were just talking about a second ago, where they got zapped away. They were sending Ant-Man into the quantum realm. Now, why is she suddenly afraid of the quantum? Like, it just felt very, I don't know, just stupid.
Well, this is the thing. This was the second thing that I noticed to me, like so early, that I hate. It's just lazy writing where, you know, a character. I mean, look, so obviously she hasn't mentioned any of this shit before when she absolutely should have.
Yeah,
and she's kept it to herself. And we're only finding this out in the third film. Yeah. And it's like, fucking hell, like, there's no way you would have hung on to this. So, and why hasn't she told them that there's entire civilizations down there that she's actually fucking friends with and shit? Like, you know, and while they're down there, they're like, okay, so why don't you explain this to us? And she's like, no.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking annoying.
Why are you fucking telling us what's going on? You're just being so fucking out of order right now. It's bang out. It's bang out. I'm telling you, mate. It's bang out. Like, she just like, oh, we haven't got time. We've got to go. What else do you have to do? Tell them what you know. Fucking hell. And then she literally waits until they fucking she has a fight to the death with someone. And then she starts hugging them. And Michael Douglas is looking around like, what the fuck is going on? And I feel bad for them. I'm like, honestly, that's a terrible person. You're a terrible human being. Like, fucking get it out. Tell them what you know. And it's just bad writing. I've seen it a couple of times in movies, and it's really bad writing where it's just like, oh, we have no time to talk, so let's walk in silence instead. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, so dumb.
And she has no real reason not to have never told them about this. Really,
exactly. That if she told them about it, it only strengthened their understanding of the quantum realm and lessened their need to explore it. She's a fucking idiot. She's a fucking idiot. Not Michelle Pfeiffer's fault. It's the writing. Terrible writing.
Yeah, it's like they didn't think at all about this until they got to the third film. Okay, now it's just going to be a massive thing. This is a whole thing, like developing it on the fly, basically. And can I also say something else about the quantum realm that I think is a big problem with this film? Apart from it looking like a really shit Star Wars film.
Well, yeah, go on.
Or just a regular Star Wars film then. The thing about what made Ant-Man really good, you're playing around with size, and like we live in the real world. We know how things are supposed to be, how big they're supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like. Like if you made
this is it. We've got no point of reference.
Yeah, because now we're in this other universe, and like it just didn't. I don't know. We just didn't. It lost one of its greatest features from the first two films. That really made it solid.
I felt like the visuals were pretty good, but well, I say pretty good. Like I thought it was like a real spectacle. I saw it in the cinema, and I was like, okay, some of these effects are pretty cool, but like I didn't really feel like it ever it just never let up because there's so much going on. It just drew away from like I couldn't focus on anything. Like it was really, it's a bit of an eyesore. I think it's too much. You know, they've really gone over the top with the visuals, I think. and they had fucking buildings, alive buildings with arms and shit
They
that
should
could
have
fly.
spent. They should have spent way more time if they were going to do something this ambitious, where like 90% of it's behind, in front of a green screen. They should have really have like developed this world a bit better
Yeah,
and not made it so, I don't know, so jarring. I guess a bit more
I, I
easy
feel, I
to
feel,
digest.
I feel like we're 25 minutes in and still haven't really gotten through the plot of this. Can we really quickly just summarize the plot
Go
before
on.
we carry on?
After
Right,
you.
sucked into the quantum realm, and then they find out that there's some like big fucking fascist dictator down there, and they've got to liberate the universe from him. And it's like bare bones plot. That's literally everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's basically the whole story.
that is. There's no more story beyond that. The rest of it is really just Kang's setup, isn't it? Because they're setting up Kang the Conqueror for future movies.
Yeah. What did you think about him? Because I've seen some reviews that say they quite like the guy's performance. When I think, yeah, he's quite a good actor. I think he's last Jonathan Majors or something Majors.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't really care much for Kang, to be honest. I really wasn't very interested in him.
Well,
But I don't know. What did you
the
think?
thing is, well, he's also in Loki. Uh, so the Loki show, Kang is the bad guy in that, but he's not a bad guy, and he's like the first variant of Kang that we've met, and this one in Ant-Man is the second Kang variant that we've seen, and we've seen that he's ruthless and shit. Uh, I actually hate how they show like Michelle Pfeiffer and him are mates, and then she touches his spaceship, and that gives her a vision, and it's like, what? This is convenient, really convenient. Uh, so yeah, she finds out he's some like universe destroying fashion, like like he's mega Hitler. Really poor writing. But I like this. Okay, I'll tell you in a nutshell. I liked Kang. I liked him in Loki. I liked him in this. I think he's a good actor. I think it's a good performance. I'm really looking forward to watching Creed 3. He's going to be in that. I think he's
Ah,
the antagonist. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That one's actually going to be directed by Michael B. Jordan as well, I believe. I think his
okay.
directorial debut, I believe. So yeah. Uh, so I like the guy. I thought he was all right. I still think the look of Kang is fucking like the moment you put the helmet on him. I just think he looks crap. I think he's better off. Just leave the fucking. If you see him in the comics with the helmet and the scars on his face, pretty comic book accurate. And I think sometimes, perhaps, comic book accurate isn't the best way to go. It's a bit silly. Again, it feels a bit like it kind of feels like Doctor Who a little bit. You know,
Hmm.
certainly his henchmen are a bit Doctor Who-y. Uh, and yeah, I feel like when he's got the helmet off, you just let him be Jonathan Majors, and he's still in his suit. I think that's perfectly fine. He's still got the scars on his face. I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's a good look. But the moment the helmet comes on and you give him CGI face, it's fucking shit. Looks terrible. Uh,
Yeah. Now I think about it, it wasn't. It didn't look too good.
I think this film it don't look that great. I'm kind of excited for the sequels. Maybe we'll talk about the future of Kang later. But for now, I'll say I really liked Kang, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him.
It's all tied to the multiverse, isn't it? That's the main thing. They're taking the multiverse idea. They're
Well,
putting it more to the forefront of everything, aren't they?
shall we
Basically.
shall we talk about Kang and what their plans are? What it
We,
looks like
you,
their plans are?
most interesting thing, to be honest. I got stuff about the quantum realm that I can talk
Right.
about for ages, but tell like so. I know that the Marvel has gone into like the multiverse with
Yes.
yeah. Actually this is old news now. We know this pretty. Even people who
Yeah.
don't watch know this.
Exactly.
From what I see with Kang, basically it's gonna they're making it more of a they're going more in the direction of the multiverse. And there's going to be these guys like Kang who are trying to destroy everything and become the
Yes.
only existing version of himself, or whatever.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, no,
so
no, not. I think we have to see it more like Rick and Morty and the dynasty of Ricks.
Yeah, but it does raise the question: where do you go after this? Like, I
Well,
can't see. Like,
I,
once you
I,
get to
I
like multiple universes and stuff, I don't think there's
look,
much more you can do. I don't know.
I'll tell you where this is going because like if I know the comic books a little bit and like I think I think they're setting it up and you can just see what's going on. So they're going to do this multiverse shit. They're going to use this as an excuse to bring the X-Men in, bring the Fantastic Four in. Like we're going to get, and then they're going to try and use all of this multiversal confusion. I reckon by the time they finish this span of films, we'll have one chronological timeline again. I reckon that's how it's going to go. So after this, everything will be brought back to one timeline, one universe. But we're going to use I reckon that's what they're going to do. Use all this confusion, and then like what they want to keep, it all becomes one timeline. But
Hmm.
what's going on with Kang in the comic books? He is basically Rick from Rick and Morty, where he goes from universe to universe, he conquers worlds, he's like a dictator. And because he's also he's like the great grandson of the Fantastic Four of Reed Richards and the Invisible Woman. He's actually their descendant, and he's
Hmm.
like time traveling and universe hopping, and because he can travel the multiverse, he's encountered other universe variants of himself. And so sometimes they'll fight each other, sometimes they have different agendas, uh, sometimes they don't go as Kang, they have a different alias. Like there's one called Rama Tut, I think, is a Kang variant, which we see he's like an Egyptian pharaoh. There's a bunch of Kang variants that don't go by the name Kang the Conqueror, but a bunch of them do. Uh, and anyway, there is this sort of instead of like the Council of Ricks from Rick and Morty, there is the Kang dynasty, and this is a group of Kangs that have collated together to put to put the combined knowledge and resources together to be even more powerful. And uh, we have already had it confirmed that the next Avengers film will be called Avengers Kang Dynasty. So Kang is going to be the central uh, antagonist for the next few films coming forward. They are setting him up to be the big bad over the next 15 films that they're making or whatever the fuck it is.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I only wanted to watch for Antman. Yeah, but obviously everything is super tied to the rest of the Marvel stuff, so I guess it's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I think this is the problem with Marvel at the minute is that no director's going to be able to come in with a distinct vision because it'll affect their overall, vision of the whole, spanning story. And like that's why Edgar Wright can't come in and just do his own little fun Ant-Man movie. They've got to throw in, make sure it's connected to the universe.
Hmm.
What I think Edgar Wright had, the problem with. I don't think he wanted to integrate the rest of the Marvel universe in. I think he just
Yeah.
wanted to make a standalone Ant Man movie.
Yeah, I also suspected that that was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the next biggest thing that you can think of? So I really want to talk more about the quantum realm because there is some
I,
stuff that kind of pissed me off a
um,
little bit.
so this movie's terrible. Uh, let's talk about Bill Murray because
I
I
didn't
love
care
Bill
for him.
Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is terrible.
yeah. I don't even know why they felt the need to bring him in. I don't know what they were thinking they were going to gain from him being there. He's
I
not
don't.
really very funny, and he just disappears, and we
Uh,
don't hear about him again. And you know what else about that as well? I think at one point, Pym says something like, "Aren't you human?" or something like that, and then there's this awkward exchange. Uh, like I don't know exactly what he's Bill Murray's character says, but he's human, but he's not human or something.
Why didn't she say to any of them anything about them being fucking humans down there? Oh, sorry, just still annoying me that.
I don't know, but I just think that like
Yeah,
how this
he,
universe needs to have been better thought out, and then now you have
off.
humans down there. It just feels more muddled.
Yeah, really was off. I mean, I was expecting like microbes and shit. Like I wanted
Yeah,
microbes and fucking like microscopic organisms that you're interacting with. Uh, but I felt like Bill Murray's character only existed. It was just I smashed your wife. That's literally the whole scene. And it's like, well, if you want to have that scene, I suppose Bill Murray's not a bad shout. But why do you need this scene? Like at all? Why is it
yeah,
remotely important? This character is not. This is the thing. You're throwing these random characters in when you could have shrunk down Michael Pena. Oh,
yeah,
sure. Why couldn't he have been sucked in with you? He's actually fucking brilliant. Like the highlight of the trilogy, and you're not utilizing him for the third film. Even that fucking Jimmy Woo, who's also in Scarlet Witch. No, not Scarlet, WandaVision, but he's in the Ant-Man movies. Is he in the Ant-Man movies, or
is
is it
he? Is he the FBI guy?
yeah, the FBI guy who gets
Yeah,
into man?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's in the.
shrink him down as well. What? Why the fuck? Like, come on. You could have had them all. That everyone's come over for like a birthday party. Fuck it. It's a birthday party. Ooh, everyone gets sucked in. Love it. Make it more interesting. I mean, fuck. It was so boring. It was like they literally had no story to get to each story beat. It was just story
Mm,
beat after story beat with the
and,
odd piece here and there to tie things together.
and
Not
there
good.
was the characters, the people that lived down there. You just didn't really give a fuck about them. Like there's
No.
this one
Well,
woman, there's that sidekick guy, and there's that
uh,
blob thing, and like
dude,
I just
I
didn't
actually,
care.
I won't lie, I like the amorphous blob. He was cool.
Okay, but still, everyone
I
else you
liked
didn't give a
him.
fuck about that, did you?
No. Well, what? One of them literally had a fucking sun for a head and couldn't talk. Why would I care about him when he dies?
Mm,
Spoilers.
when he
Well,
dies, who cares? Oh no, a guy without a face is dead.
I,
I
I
couldn't.
didn't, I didn't like this little society in the quantum realm. I really didn't like it.
Yeah, and you know what else is kind of funny as well, which I don't know what I think about this, is that the whole motivation for Lang, Scott Lang, for the whole film is just to save his daughter. Even
Yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck about these people. He just wants to save his daughter
I
and
know.
fucking go. And
I quite
like,
like that actually. I like that he was like, "Yeah, let's just get the fuck out of here."
yeah, he's kind of. But like, I do feel that this is such a thing that's always in, not even just superhero movies. Any movie where it's about someone saving something, it's like they don't really want to be the hero that
Well,
saves the
yeah.
world. They just
Oh,
want to
dude,
save one person they care about, and then they kind of get, because they made it personal, they're
yeah,
sucked into it.
it's the reluctant hero. Like people love a reluctant hero. You know,
I
it's a good. There's a decent angle. It's just shit. This is a shit movie, and it's using shit tropes. But I quite like that trope done right. In all fairness,
well, yeah, when it's
I
done
don't.
right.
I don't think this film does it right though.
No, it just feels a bit like, I don't know. I just feel that maybe he would have cared a bit more about preventing this guy from escaping. And I don't know. Can I also say something else about the quantum realm?
Go
I'm
on.
dying to talk about the quantum realm.
Go
So
on. Let's
in
hear
the
it.
in the first two films, it's always there's always some talk about it as this quite a big thing. Like for a short moment, Ant-Man accidentally shrinks himself down to the quantum realm in the first film, and then in the second film, we're saving Michelle Pfeiffer's character from the quantum realm. So we're seeing a little bit more each time, and it's building up a kind of a bit of excitement. Oh, what's this going to be about? And then finally, we have QuANTuMAnia, which, by the way, is a shit name. I'm
It is a
thinking
shit
like
name, isn't it?
they built up so much excitement and interest, like, oh, what could be down there, what could be going on, and then then we finally get the film, and it's kind of it's just it's nothing really. It's nothing really particularly
Yeah,
interesting anymore. And
that's
like
the thing. Yeah, it's just the same shit, but they've just thrown a bunch of special effects. So it's just a fucking TikTok filter of every other Marvel film.
and ditched what made it good in the first place is that it was in the real
Yeah,
world and they were shrinking and shit. And then
exactly.
there's some other shit that I remember that bugs me. Um, where's my notes gone? Ah, yes. So in the second film, Pym shrinks himself down and goes into the quantum realm to try and find his wife. And there's this so they're always talking about, the quantum realm is very, like, it can mess with your mind, all this kind of stuff. But there was none of that in this film. Like, I think that they just really
Yeah,
completely ditched the rules that they had about the quantum realm in the previous two
yeah,
films. And
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
that was a bit shit, to be honest. I don't think they should have
yeah.
done that.
Well, this is the thing. The moment you sort of start introducing new things to the law, which I have no intrinsic issue with, but like all you really needed to do is say, "Oh yeah, she did mention in between films that there are civilizations down there." What did you think of how they defeat Kang, having like the super ant army?
Well, I remember at the beginning of the film when you see Pym explaining his ants, I was like, okay, they're not explaining this for no reason. This is definitely going to come back later. Probably it's going to be quite crucial to the ending or something, and it was. So I was kind of expecting that the ants were going to come into it at some point.
Well, of course.
Uh,
But I feel like you're setting up Kang to be this, all powerful entity, to be the big bad for the Marvel universe. Especially like the last guy was Thanos, which was a really good character. So big shadow that you're in. And what do you do in this first movie where he's a really big bad guy? Is he gets beaten by some ants? And I'm like, well, if Samantha can beat him, I've got a feeling Thor and that lot ain't gonna have a problem. If I'm honest, he
and
doesn't
if
seem that threatening to me.
and if they do, you can just make some ants really big and fight them in the real world.
Exactly, exactly. Like, there's literally no reason why the Avengers shouldn't be able to kick his ass in future films. Now that I've seen him being beaten by literally a couple of big ants, sort it out. He literally refers to Thor as the one with the hammer because they're trying to imply he's killed the Avengers in multiple universes many times over. That like they all sort of blur into one for him. So they've implied that he's fought the Avengers in the past in other universes, and he gets beaten by some ants.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. I don't see him as a threat at all for this massive universe that they're going to build.
What did you think about Darren
Right.
Modoc?
So this is the thing. Modoc is not Darren Cross in the comic books, but I like Modoc. My experience of Modoc up until this film has always been Marvel versus Capcom, and he's a playable character in that. I fucking love Modoc. He's nutty as fuck, giant fucking floating head with little arms and legs and lasers and shit. I like Modoc. I did not like Darren Cross in the first Ant-Man film. Not a bad actor, just I didn't love the character. I should hate this Modoc. I actually really liked Modoc, and I don't think,
Really?
yeah, and I don't think many people agree with me. I liked Modoc. I like the character from the comic books. They've completely changed him, mind you, but I quite like this whole "don't be a dick." And he's like,
Oh,
but look at me, I'm a dick. And it actually tickled me. I actually got a laugh out of me, this film. So I have to give it ratings for the one moment in the film that I actually felt like I could laugh. I enjoyed that line. I thought it made me laugh. What can I say? I'm a dick. I thought it was
that
funny.
that was enough to change someone's mind. Like, okay, now I'm
No,
fighting for the other team.
no,
Jesus.
no, I laughed because it's dumb, but it's still funny. I liked it. I wouldn't change that line. I think that's the best part of the film. I really do. I really just it got a genuine laugh out of me. It's the only point in the film I felt entertained. I was like, yeah, yeah, I like that. You're a dick. I really liked
but,
it. I can't help it.
but what did you think about how they tried to like redeem him? I felt that they tried to
Yeah, a
redeem
bit.
Darren.
Yeah, but again, like I just thought it was funny how he. I thought it was a decent performance, even though his face looks fucking dumb as shit. But he's like, oh, at least I died an Avenger. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is he talking about? He's like, I always saw you like a brother. He's like, what? Hang on a minute. What's your name again? Oh yeah, I thought it was funny. I liked Modoc. He should have been the main character. It should have been Modoc QuANTuMAnia. Bring Modoc back. Make Modoc the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah, but it was him though. Didn't he push? He did something at the end, towards the end, to allow them to beat Kang through his force field or something. And I just felt okay. So they're trying to redeem him, and like
Yeah,
it
it's not
does feel, yeah. And like I think there are some other films, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it feels very familiar, this theme of like having a bad guy return from a previous film or something, and now
to
he's
be
with
a
the good
goodie.
guys, and he does basically
Yeah.
sacrifices himself so they can win. It
Well,
feels used.
they've on like a side note, they've brought back Tim Roth's bad guy from the Ed Norton Hulk, and he's in the She-Hulk TV show as the same character.
Hmm. Oblivion, I think he was, right, or something.
Abomination,
Abomination.
abomination. Yeah, they brought him back. So yeah, there is, and he's a good guy now. So yeah, there has
Hmm.
been this recurring theme of bringing older bad guys back in, making them good guys. Obviously, Loki was probably the one that set that up.
Mm-hmm.
A bad guy on a redemption arc but the reason why Loki worked, I think, is because it was over a period of a few films. So you really got to earn his redemption arc. Whereas, we haven't seen Tim Roth since 2008 getting choked out by the Incredible Hulk with a giant chain. We haven't seen him since then. So, you know, we haven't seen his redemption arc. We've just sort of come into it. Uh, so yeah, with Darren, we get down there and he's a dick, and then his redemption arc literally is the recognition of maybe he shouldn't be a dick.
Yeah, that's great redemption right there. That's
I-
really.
It's not very good, but it made me laugh. It's that stupid. It made me laugh. I'll say because he's pretty much an irredeemable dick in the first one as well.
Yeah, I don't know. He seemed a bit a really big change as well, because I bought Darren as a
No
bad
shit.
guy.
No
Huh?
shit. Is that no shit? He's gone through a big change.
Yeah, apart from the obvious. But like in the first film, he felt I could buy him as a bad guy,
Yeah.
even though maybe I don't know, maybe he could be a bit more thought out. But at least the guy who's playing him, I forgot his name. I've seen him in quite a few things, by the way.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
pretty good.
I I liked him. He was good. I bought him as a bad guy. But then in this film, it just felt like it's a completely different guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, like apart from the shit that's happened, I don't know. It just felt I didn't believe it so much. It felt too nutty.
I mean, I think the whole fucking movie's nutty and unbelievable. In all fairness, I did not like this movie at all. Like, I feel like Modoc was just sort of like a silver lining in there for me, because I do like the comic character, and I always pick him in Marvel v Capcom. So I already had like a liking to the dude. Uh, and I thought the actor did a decent job. CGI is terrible, but CGI is
Mm,
terrible in the whole fucking movie. But I liked him and I liked Kang. But they're the only two things I liked. And I didn't like Kang as much as I really ought to when you're building this guy up to be the big bad of the whole fucking universe.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just
Would
shit.
you? What do you think? So I well, what do you think of Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas? Because I've never really liked either of them in these films, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer. Like she's in some excellent films and given some excellent performances. And Michael Douglas, I mean, he
He's been
married
in some good
Catherine.
stuff.
He married Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like,
that's my favourite thing he's done.
like for I don't
Is
know,
it?
like
Isn't he? Is he Fatal Attraction? Is that him?
I may have been, I can't remember.
I like Fatal
Um,
Attraction.
like with those with them, I'm not sure really what I think about them, really, because I felt that there was maybe a bit too much of them. When this is an Ant-Man.
I didn't like it. I didn't like them at all. My review of them has been, I don't like either of them really in these movies. Walking
Yeah,
Tall, that's a good one he's in. Walking Tall's excellent. Uh,
and then and even actually, someone I think I saw, maybe it was the pitch meeting guy, said something about how it's this is supposed to be Ant-Man and the Wasp, isn't it? QuANTuMAnia, and yet
yeah.
she's also hardly in it.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
true. She's barely in it.
yeah, and I do think that maybe I don't know. I think the guys, whoever wrote this mess, was way too focused on Michelle Pfeiffer's character and not enough
I, lo-
focused on the
to be,
heroes of the thing.
I've let you call her Michelle Pfeiffer for an hour now, and I feel like I need to interject here. We need to settle on a name because I'm sure it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
I don't know. I just been guessing. It's one of those names that I mostly see written down and never heard out loud.
All right, I'll tell you what then. Let's compromise. From now on, we'll call her Michelle Pfeiffer.
I see on Wikipedia it's like Pfeiffer,
Yeah,
Pfeiffer,
I think we should call her Michelle Pfeiffer now.
Pfeiffer. Okay, Pfeiffer
Pfeiffer.
it is.
All right. So yeah, I quite like Michelle Pfeiffer, but uh, not in these movies. I think you're right. I think they over relied on them when you could have brought in Michael Pena, and he could have just been like getting into all sorts of shenanigans.
He
Oh,
could tell he could tell another one of his stories about where he got information from.
yeah, yeah. What you could have done? They all get sucked into the universe. Then Michael Pena's just on his own, and he's just trying to find his way back to the group, and he's like just exploring around the quantum. You know what? That make a better movie just on its own. Just Michael Pena down there going like speaking to fucking like microscopic amoebas and shit. Like, oh mate, I'd fucking love him. I'd fucking love him to have been in this movie.
And you know what else I realized as well? At the end of this film, there is a birthday party for Lang's daughter. And like he's not even there. Like, did he do something to offend the people who made the previous two films or something? Because like
Oh,
they
well,
couldn't at least give him like just 1 minute
well,
in the film or something.
it's entirely possible that he's just busy because he's in
That's also true.
like because he is fucking good. So maybe they did speak to him about being in it, and maybe the money wasn't right because he is really good. I really like him. He would have made this film like what I think you should have done. No Hank Pym, no Michelle Pfeiffer, just Michael Pena. If it was just Scott Lang, his daughter, and Michael Pena, I'd have loved that.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I tell you what, because I feel like this movie really was lacking seeing like the real world. So even if they're stuck down there, I think you should be having a character that isn't stuck down there trying to pull them out. I think that should have been like a side plot, and you're breaking it up because I feel like if you stay in this universe too long, it just becomes a cartoon, and I really didn't
Mm,
buy it. If you chopped and changed a little bit and had someone trying to pull them out, so that could have been Michael Pena, trying to unsuck them out of the universe. Uh,
yeah. That would have been quite nice, and then it could have some kind of impact on it. I don't know, or maybe
exactly.
yeah, maybe he's the one who gets them out in the end, and they're trying to stay in just to make sure that Kang doesn't get out or something. I don't know. That could have been quite good. That could have been quite good. But
Oh,
alas,
here
we
you go.
didn't
Here
get
you go.
that.
I've got it. I've got it. I've got exactly how you do it. Michael Pena puts his hand into like a portal, and then it comes down, and it's like a giant hand, and he just picks up Kang, and then like Kang like hits him or something. He thinks it's like a bug, so he just like stamps on it. End of movie.
Yeah, I could have
Hey yo,
watched
Scott,
that.
I found you. I found you.
Film done in 5 minutes. You know what?
Yeah.
I was just thinking as well. Please remind me, but I don't think I understand really. Or maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. But why exactly did they get sucked down there in the first place?
Because Scott Lang's daughter invented a thing to map out the quantum realm by sending a signal down there, but Kang hijacked the signal so he could suck them in. But you'd
Ah,
think
okay.
he
So
could,
it was
he,
actually Kang then. Okay.
yeah, well, Modoc. But you'd think that they could have hijacked the signal to like come out. So he could have escaped the quantum realm that way if he wanted. You'd imagine.
Hmm.
How did they get out of the quantum realm though?
Oh, something to do with the pin
Oh yeah,
particle that they somehow managed to get.
that there was that portal thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, by the way, isn't it quite convenient that Kang needs the pin particle? I think even, how are we calling her now? Pafifa. Uh,
The fifth.
just like she says it, I think at one point when they get this orb thing back, he needs pin particles, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, that's really fucking convenient that you have the inventor down there of this very fucking specific thing that probably didn't exist like a few years ago. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know, that was kind of a bit stupid for me. And then like also at one point, maybe again I wasn't paying attention, maybe, but I swear he gets the this orb battery thing, but it doesn't work anymore. So he has it, and then a bit later he has it again, and it's working now. Like, was there something that happened where he managed to power
Right.
it up, or is
So
it?
in the flashback we get Michelle Papifa and Kang get it working, and then when they plug it in, and she gets a vision of Kang being like Mega Hitler, she uses the pin particles to like implode, explode, shrink, and expand it at the same time, so it's unusable. So that's why Kang needs pin particles, because she used pin particles to destroy the thing in the first place. But if he can get it back, then it's going to be working because they already fixed it. You'd think
Hmm.
they'd probably need to fix it again after that, though. Imploding, exploding, shrinking, and expanding at the same time. You would think it would need some kind of repair job.
Yeah, I don't know. I I
It's dumb, this movie. It's fucking dumb. I will say though, I did actually like the sequence that Scott has to shrink down and go inside to like get the thing, and then it just keeps creating like uh other copies of himself because he's trapped in some kind of like uh alternate university kind of like choice splitting university kind of place. Kind of like that. That was kind of fun. And then we actually saw a bunch of Scott Lang's operate and coordinate as if they were ants, which I thought was, I know, I quite like that, if I'm honest. Like that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'll, make it more Ant-Man-y. Like I like that. Like if you took the spider webs away from Spider-Man, he'd just be Insect Man. So yeah, if you're gonna do Ant-Man, I like that. You're showing me anti stuff that he can do. It's anti shit. I like ant stuff. If he's Ant-Man, yeah, show me some cool ant shit, and I did like that. I'm just not really keen on the Wasp. What's her name? Evangeline Lilly. I
hmm.
don't. I think she's a really weird choice for the role. I think she's a little bit miscast in this,
Yeah,
in all of them.
she was in Lost. I used to really like that show. I've probably mentioned it a million times already in this podcast.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, I do find that I was also watching The Hobbit. She's in The Hobbit. I'm not sure if she's in all of the Hobbit films, or at least two or three of them. Two of them. But yeah, I don't. I still. Maybe I mean to say this, but I don't think that she's a very strong actor.
No,
I
I don't either. I think she's really miscast in this.
Yeah, I think her range is not very good.
No,
Um, it's
I mean,
either
having
one
said
of
that,
three emotions.
yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It's a fucking Ant-Man movie at the end of the day. Like, you don't have to be Oscar worthy to be in these movies. I just don't think she's right for the role. I feel, yeah, I just don't, yeah, I feel like she's very, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I don't think she has much chemistry with Paul Rudd.
The only
Um,
thing that I think that she really did in the whole of this movie, Evangeline's Lily character is like, "Why didn't you tell us, Mom? Why didn't you?" Like, I swear that's the only
yeah,
thing. Like at least 4 or 5 times in this movie, she's just like asking, "Why you never said anything?" That's all I can remember
but,
her doing.
but you know what? She fucking brings up a damn good point. Why the fuck didn't she say anything? No, it's annoying. It's really annoying. I actually, yeah, I would be her. I would be so like, can you just fucking tell us already? Like, we can stop. You know what? I'm taking a knee. Dad, take a knee. Right. We're not going anywhere until you tell us what the fuck's going on. Oh,
Yeah,
it's really annoying. And it's not Papaifa's fault. It's bad writing. It's terrible writing.
I'm just thinking now, like maybe the writers shouldn't have made her focus too much on that if they didn't want to draw much attention to this really fucking big plot hole.
Yeah,
Maybe don't have the Wasp constantly asking why he didn't fucking say anything, which is exactly what the audience is
exactly.
going to be
You're
fucking saying all the
exactly
time.
you're drawing attention to the plot hole. It's
Yeah,
really dumb. Because I did like that scene where they get uh the device, but it's not because why Kang's like, I need a thief. Like, you don't need a thief, you need someone who can shrink. Like, why are you saying you're just saying thief because the first movie was about
yeah.
a heist?
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, it's just like it's borrowing. It's
Yeah.
trying to copy itself, basically.
It's weird though. Like, why didn't you just say, I need someone who knows how to shrink? Like, that's fine. We get it. Like, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't understand why he couldn't say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I do agree with you. Probably the best thing about this film was
that
insight.
sequence.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Didn't really.
I mean,
I don't
I,
think
d-
I hated it as much as you did.
I
Uh,
really didn't like it. Like I say, it was a bit of an eyesore. It had a Michael Pena shaped hole from the outset. It dragged on too long. I didn't like the final climax of the film. Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas were just sort of dead weight, and the plot revolved way too heavily around Michelle Pfeiffer. Unfortunately, um, I thought the daughter wasn't very good. Um, the only other thing I've seen her in is that Detective Pikachu movie, and she's not very good in that either.
mm, were we talking about who exactly?
The
Oh, the
daughter,
daughter. Yeah, I was
Ant
thinking.
Girl, Ant Girl.
Yeah. Speaking about her, actually, yeah, I didn't really care much for her. I also felt like, yeah, she was really poorly written. I don't understand. Like, they tried to make her a rebellious teenager. It didn't really fit with what I already knew about the character. Maybe this whole time change shit that you explained at the beginning could make it a bit more logical in that, like, I don't know, in those several whatever years that everyone was dead, she kind of like she changed a lot. Also,
Well,
her
we
being
haven't actually.
somehow a massive, like a scientist, basically. I don't know
Well,
how to like.
we haven't seen this progression in any previous films outside. Like, yeah, like I say, it's all happened off screen. All
Hmm.
these changes to her character.
Yeah, it just felt a bit like it's just been done too many times before,
Yeah.
and it just felt extremely lazy.
Well,
And
I'll tell you, because it does seem that they're building up to like a young Avengers film, because in all of these movies that they've been doing, they're introducing young characters with powers. So, like in Doctor Strange, we had America Chavez. In the Hawkeye TV show, we got Kate Bishop, who's like mini Hawkeye. Uh, we've got She-Hulk now. He'll probably be I reckon Spider-Man's likely going to be the leader of the Young Avengers.
Hmm.
You've got Cassie, who's like mini Ant-Man. Uh, yeah, all of these. In Black Panther, we've now got like a new Iron Man-y kind of character, but she's a 19-year-old girl. Uh, yeah, it's they're building up for a Young Avengers event, I believe, which makes sense because you do want actors to be able to carry on in these superhero teams, so you can get longevity with these movies. Because you know Chris Hemsworth and Paul Rudd, I mean, they've got to be in their 40s. Paul Rudd, I
Hmm.
think's in his 50s. So
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking about his age a couple of times watching these films. Like it feels like
yeah.
he's been around forever.
Well, yeah, he was in Friends. Don't forget,
Yeah, I
he
saw a
was
picture of that not long ago.
yeah, he married Phoebe. So yeah, he has been around for bloody ever. Like Friends ended 20 years ago, and he was, you know, late 20s, early 30s in that. So
Hmm.
I think early 30s. So yeah, like he's not young. I mean, he looks great. Let's not forget. Like he looks great, but my God, he's not young. He's not going to want to do this forever. They need to start replacing these characters, and you know, so far none of these characters are really that good. We've got a new Scarlet Witch, not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. We've got a new one of her, which is her sister, who's younger and more deadly, and she actually does have a Russian accent. She was introduced in the Black Widow movie. So yeah, I think they are building to like a Young Avengers movie, but they haven't announced it yet.
We'll see, we'll see. But bringing it back to Ant-Man, it
Go
felt
on.
like we should have seen there should have been more Ant-Man and Ant-Man, and it felt like they were trying to. I don't know why they do this in some films where they try to make it all about the family. Like,
I mean,
do we
it,
have
it,
to have the grandparents there, the adoptive daughter, the couple, and everything? Does it always have to do
I
this
mean,
all
it,
the time?
it can work. It's just it's not working in this one. I don't feel like much of the all of the. I think everyone has their own charisma, but I don't think they have much chemistry between each other. Like Paul Rudd is very charismatic and charming, but I just don't find anyone in these like yeah, I just don't see any chemistry between them. But maybe that's because it feels so much of a cartoon from the get go. That really did draw me out of it. How much of a like it just felt animated. The whole movie felt animated. I didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It felt more like a cartoon.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I mean, should we give this a rating? Is there anything
Um,
else we need to discuss?
no, I
I like the blob guy. I like the blob guy.
and
I if
you like don't be a dick as well.
I like don't be a dick, and I have holes. But I wish more of the characters in the quantum universe was more like an amorphous blob. I would have liked microscopic beings. I didn't want humans. Like it just felt like another alien movie. Like in the Marvel movies, we get a lot of these space movies now, and it just felt like another one of them. But I felt like you needed to make the quantum universe unique unto itself. And in order to do that, I think you should have had totally unique characters that could only exist in a microscopic universe. Like single cell organisms. I really would have liked that. It's mad to me that there's only one single cell organism character in Ant-Man 3.
And
You're
there
It's a
so
microscopic
many
universe.
so many human like things living down there as well, which
Yeah,
is just I don't know.
it's daft. It's daft. I much would have preferred it if Michelle Pfeiffer and Kang were the only two human characters down there, stranded in a universe that had no humans. But you could have still had all of this conflict if you really needed it. I don't think you needed this whole rebel shit. Like, you could have just had Kang enslaving fucking single cell, organisms. That would have been way better for me. I think it should have just been them lot against Kang. Having human characters down there really broke the universe for me. Like I say, I feel like it needed to feel more unique to what we've seen before, and it just felt so familiar and not in a good. It just felt like shit Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I was gonna. I also forgot about the Guardians of the Galaxy. It does feel a bit like we have a bit of that going on here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy if it was a lot more shit. That's what it feels like to me. You can get that put on a t-shirt. Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, QuANTuMAnia, like Guardians of the Galaxy, just shit. I feel like that's the best. That's the highest accolade I could give this movie. It's a shit version of Guardians. It's
Yeah.
not very good. It's not very good. Look, it's watchable, I guess. I reckon kids will like it, but it's a bare bones story. There's very little to chew on. There's nothing unique. It's tropes you've seen a million times before, and some of those tropes are not remotely good. It's lazy. It's too much to see in one go. It's an eyesore. It's got bad writing. The highlights of the film are still bad for the standard of a decent film, and it's not a decent film. It's a bad film. So some of these moments are just about good enough to be like, aha, you get a chuckle out of me. But if it was in a normal film, a decent film, it'd still be a bad moment. So yeah,
Mm.
I can't. It's a low score for me. Okay, look, it's out of a colony. Let's give it. I'll give it 2 Paul Rudds out of 12.
Hmm. I
That's
yeah.
that's my rating.
I'm not sure what I would rate this. I guess if I had a colony of
Oh,
about a
I'll
thousand
rate I
ants,
rate it. Okay, go on then. We'll say 1,000 ants. I'll
yeah,
give it 13 ants.
I would let probably about mm, maybe about 50 of them live out of the 1,000. I'd kill
All right.
950 of them. I'd stomp them to death. That would
Well,
be my
you could
rating
you
of
could
this
shrink
film.
them. You could shrink them. You
Also
know what? I'll tell
possible,
you what.
yeah.
My rating of this film: one giant ant. That's my rating. One giant ant.
I think that's too nice. I think that's way too nice.
I
One
mean,
giant.
there's still a
I would
thousand
like a
other.
giant ant.
There's still 999 ants left in the colony. They're just not big, and it's not the queen either. Just like worker ant, shit ant,
Yeah. And on
ant with
that
no
bombshell.
wings. I'll say
And
that.
with
I
the-
will say. Yeah, I know. One more bombshell. I will say. Uh, I did think this was better than the fourth Thor film.
Okay.
I thought it was much better than Love and Thunder, but that the stand Love and Thunder's terrible. But again, at least Christian Bale's good in it. But yeah, I did not like this film. I think it's too focused on setting up Kang, which I am excited for. I am excited for Kang, but this film just felt so throwaway. It felt like a filler, and it's meant to be setting up the rest of the universe, and I'm just like, it just felt like a filler episode in a bad TV show,
Hmm.
and you're waiting for like the good shit to come about. Hopefully, let's hope that like because they've got a couple of new films coming out. Let's hope Fantastic Four will be good. I'm hoping Fantastic Four will be something special, something that you can like give me an original story. I want something unique, and I really hope they do something with Silver Surfer. I think these are characters that I love. I'm a big Silver Surfer fan. I really hope they do something with Silver Surfer. I'd really like to write a Silver Surfer film with you on the podcast. Oh, speaking of which, maybe this will be a teaser for the next rewrite. But I'd really like to do a Deadpool 3 on the podcast with you, Craig, before it comes out because they are going to do one, and it will bring Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'd like to come up with a concept with you before Marvel do it, and we'll see how close we get.
Hmm.
Because I've
Okay.
got
Yeah, we can think
ideas.
about it.
I've got ideas. I've got ideas. But yeah, uh, let's knock this on the head. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to listen to us. Antman 3. Verdict is it's not really worth your money. Wait for it to come out on VHS.
It should have gone straight.
Or it's straight to Betamax. This film. Yeah, that's our rating. That's our rating. Straight to Betamax. All right. Well, Craig, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and listening to us. We appreciate it. We're so close to getting monetized. So we really appreciate the support from everyone out there. And do come and follow us on Twitter. We got a Twitter now, @Film Shrapnel, capital F, capital S. Come and check us out. Join the posse. Anything you want to say, Craig?
No, just thanks everyone for listening. You've been awesome. Thank you so much.
Very awesome. We love you, 3000. All right, man. Much love. We'll chat soon. Until next time, keep it knees.
Look after your knees.
So fucking weird, Craig.
Shrapnel.